I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
Hold on tight, because this story is about to get wild. A major legal showdown is brewing, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second of it. Melania Trump, the former First Lady of the United States, is taking the hosts of The View to court in a defamation lawsuit that's worth a jaw-dropping $100 million. Yes, you heard that right, $100 million. This isn't just any lawsuit, it's the kind that could shake up both the media and entertainment world. People everywhere are already buzzing about it. So what's really going on? Let's break it down step by step. Melania is suing the hosts over some shocking comments they made about her during a recent episode, and when I say shocking, I mean they hit a serious nerve. This isn't your typical celebrity drama. This is a major legal fight that could have a lasting impact on how the media handles public figures. And as for Melania, she's not backing down. Now let's dig into what was actually said that sparked this whole firestorm. During one of the show's discussions, the hosts started talking about Melania's time in the White House. But instead of respectful commentary, things took a sharp turn. Their remarks were far from kind, in fact. Some were flat-out controversial. One host, for example, implied that Melania didn't want to be First Lady at all, and even hinted that she was unhappy in her marriage to Donald Trump. Those are bold accusations to make about anyone's personal life, and they're exactly what triggered this massive legal response.
Critics are going hard after a liberal media member for vile comments about Melania Trump. The former First Lady appears to signal her support for reproductive rights in a video out yesterday.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just...
But things didn't stop there. The conversation quickly took a deeper dive into harsh criticism of Melania's personal choices and actions during her time in the White House. The hosts picked apart everything from how she redecorated the presidential residence to her views on holiday traditions, especially Christmas. One of them even suggested that Melania didn't care about her position at all, painting her as someone who felt bitter and burdened by the role. As you can imagine, those kinds of remarks didn't sit well with Melania Nand. That's when things really started to escalate.
I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View.
And I
look,
agree.
The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it?
Here's the thing: Melania is known for being extremely private, especially when compared to other public figures. So when those personal attacks aired, she was reportedly furious. She didn't waste any time taking action. Melania filed a defamation lawsuit against the hosts of The View, claiming that their comments weren't just false, but deeply damaging to her reputation. This isn't about hurt feelings or a media stunt. This is about protecting her image and stopping harmful stories from spreading unchecked. And make no mistake, this kind of legal move is rare. Most public figures, especially those in Melania's position, tend to stay quiet when criticized by the media. They usually release a short statement or ignore the drama completely. But not Melania. By filing this lawsuit, she's making it clear she won't let lies about her character slide. She wants accountability, and she's going after it in a big way.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what the Views audience loves. It is targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tensions. The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed to think for...
Why does this matter? Why is this lawsuit such a big deal? Well, this case goes far beyond a celebrity dispute. It's tapping into a much bigger issue, what can and can't be said about public figures. Melania's lawsuit is raising serious questions about the limits of free speech, the responsibility of the media, and the right to protect one's personal reputation. Depending on how it plays out, this case could set a powerful precedent for how future defamation lawsuits involving public figures are handled. And it might change the way talk shows and media outlets report on the personal lives of high-profile individuals. Think about it if Melania wins. It could force major platforms to rethink how they cover controversial or speculative stories involving celebrities, politicians, and their families. We might see talk shows like The View take a much more cautious approach when diving into private matters. But on the flip side, it could also trigger heated debates over free speech and whether this sets a dangerous standard for silencing media criticism. And here's where things get even more interesting: the timing. Melania filed this lawsuit just as Donald Trump is back in the headlines for a whole different set of legal issues. Some people are starting to wonder, could this be a strategic move by Melania? Is she trying to redirect some of the spotlight toward herself, especially with all the noise surrounding Trump's political and legal battles? Could this lawsuit be part of a larger plan to put her back in the media spotlight? It's definitely something worth considering. But before we dive into those theories, let's take a closer look at the exact comments that pushed Melania to take legal action.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled that won't come up.
We're on television now. And then after Melania gave birth to the baby, he found Stormy to strip around with, right?
Yes.
It's like people should look at him and say, you know, what kind of an insecure jerk are you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my wife's pregnant. I'm not attracted to her big belly or something. And now she's paying attention to the baby and not.
One of the most jaw-dropping moments came when a host actually claimed that Melania hates her husband and doesn't even want to live with him anymore. Can you believe that? These kinds of statements aren't just shockingly personal, they can be incredibly damaging. For many viewers, it was one of those moments where you had to hit rewind just to be sure you heard it right. The boldness of that comment left people stunned. This is one of those times where the line between opinion and outright harmful gossip gets dangerously blurry. What's even more surprising is how fast Melania responded. Big-name public figures usually take their time or choose to stay quiet, maybe releasing a short statement or just letting it pass. Not brushing this off, just coming out swinging and taking her fight straight into the courtroom. With a $100 million lawsuit on the table, it's clear she's not here for headlines, she's here for justice. This isn't about grabbing attention, it's a serious legal move, sending a loud and clear message. These comments weren't just hurtful, they crossed a line. Melania is determined to protect both her private and public image for the long haul.
Now you know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade, but apparently his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
So what does all of this mean for the rest of us? Well, this case raises some serious questions about where we draw the line between media freedom, public life, and personal privacy. Should celebrities and politicians be entitled to full privacy? Or is public scrutiny just part of the job? More importantly, how do we tell the difference between free speech and outright defamation? This lawsuit could reshape the legal landscape around media coverage. And experts are already saying the impact might reach far beyond just this one case. If Melania wins, it could set a powerful precedent for how the media handles personal stories about high-profile individuals, whether they're public officials, Hollywood stars, or even their families. That could mean tighter rules and a more cautious approach across the board. Of course, not everyone agrees with her decision to sue. Some say she's using the situation for publicity, while others believe she's finally drawing a necessary line in the sand about what's acceptable to say in the public eye. The truth might land somewhere in between. But one thing is clear: this lawsuit is forcing the spotlight onto a much bigger issue: the complicated balance between fame, personal privacy, and media responsibility. As the case plays out in court, the whole country will be watching both Melania and The View to see how it all unfolds. And remember, this isn't just about money. It's about setting a standard for how far media outlets can go when discussing people's private lives. If Melania comes out on top, we might see major changes in how talk shows, news programs, and entertainment outlets approach controversial topics about public figures. This story is just getting started. We'll be here with you every step of the way. So what do you think? Is Melania right to sue? Or could this create a dangerous path for free speech in the media? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you think. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you stay updated with all the latest twists, turns, and developments. This is a case that's sure to make headlines for a long time, and we'll be right here bringing you everything you need to know. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay engaged. And we'll see you next time with more breaking news from this jaw-dropping saga. Take care, everyone.